Hello and welcome to Compelled to Impact. I'm Gina T, Spirit Life Mentor. Um, and this is episode 64, Facade Book. Is it harmful? um, I've thought a lot about this because I have some issues with social media and even getting online and even YouTube, not YouTube itself, but being here. That was a huge stretch for me, and I really had to discover what was going on inside of me to make this big change. Anyway, so social media, where is it taking you? Do you depend on it too much for your opinions on life and even on yourself? Maybe you have a love and not so much love relationship with it. I know I certainly have. For the sake of this video, not getting out of control, I'll tell you what I've observed on one of the more popular platforms that I will refer to as Facade Book. I'm sure you know which one that is. And I'm sure it's on a lot of other ones. I just don't go on too many different platforms because I'm too busy, but it's also very distracting. You probably already know that. I'm sure I've been on Facade Book since 2008. I went back to school and was homeschooling my last few children through high school. They introduced me to it as a way to keep in touch with people and reconnect with family and friends all over the world. I've liked it on and off over the years, but I still prefer getting together and enjoying good company and everything that goes with it in person. I've considered quitting the platform several times and sadly wouldn't hear from most people. So I've taken some time off, although not for too long. And sometimes it feels good to know it doesn't run my life. It can be valuable for business when you consider the benefit of showing up for your people. It's been good and maybe even more efficient for sharing family and friend news, especially for important announcements and events. There are some redeeming factors to staying connected this way. On the other hand, indulging once a week is actually a good goal. And that's what I'm trying to do, although it sort of cut me off YouTube for almost 2 weeks, which I didn't plan on, but a lot of other things were going on. There are a few things to be careful about and aware of. So here are the cons I've seen and experienced. First, it can be too chaotic. For instance, when people are so fired up about their stance on something, they aren't even aware of who they may be hurting while standing up for something where they're trying to be helpful. It isn't usually a conversation as much as it is a soapbox and can quickly become a place for unsavory spewing. I'm not saying everybody does this, but you've seen it. It happens. And it's easy for humans to get caught up in their humanness. Second, the chaos is in the business sector as well. Well, you've seen all the ads. There's nothing wrong with healthy business competition. However, whether it's business or personal, any competition that turns ugly or into anyone feeling badly about themselves or about someone else takes away from the value of our humanity. And that's very important. Number 3, there is an air of caring, especially when people post and repost beautiful quotes and sentiments about life. And it probably does help people. I know sometimes we do need that little surge of positivity in our lives, but then they really don't communicate much with each other outside of those postings. I mean, it's great to have these small interactions with people you would rarely see anyway, especially when living so far from each other. But there's another part of this that has been sad. Number 4, so many people are spending so much time scrolling through social media to get or give encouragement, then after liking a few things, reposting some, and sometimes going down a few rabbit holes, which are pretty easy to go down, they still feel unfulfilled. It's time to look at their own lives again and they are still in the same place. And that can make people very sad and even depressed. In fact, they might feel worse than they did before because they haven't been working on their own personal endeavors or uh, their own personal responsibility within themselves. I know that's really vague, but I think you get what I'm talking about. I've listened to some people who tell me they aren't really doing as well as what it looks like on their profile, or that seeing what some of their friends are doing and what they have just makes them feel like they're not as happy or satisfied with life the way they thought they would be, or they feel increasingly lonely. Yikes, that's so sad and depressing. And the tendency for people is to compare and compete, which are both bad ideas because of all the implications of all the things that can come from comparing and competing. That's why I can't help but refer to this communication vehicle as Facade book. It doesn't beat getting together with people in person. You can send a smile, a hug, or a kiss emoji, but it's never as good as in person. Humans need other humans. We need human hugs and laughing in person. Now with AI, the extremely useful tool for many tasks, I feel like it will dehumanize humanity even more. We need to be aware and cautious that we don't lose more of what we need to nurture each other and ourselves. It is up to me, each person, to make sure that I have adequate in-person connections with family and friends, and it's up to you. Here are some things you can do. Make a list of people you have or would like to who you would like in your closest circle. Call one person each day at least. Send a few notes a week by regular mail. I know if you don't know what it is, I'm sure you can look it up on YouTube. Or you can ask me, I'll tell you. Get together with at least one person outside of your home each week. Hug often, left side to left side, because hugging heart to heart increases both persons' love energy vibration, not necessarily with each other, but the vibration that each person has. And how could that be bad for anyone or for our world? Check on your family and friends. That said, there will be people who aren't used to being cared about this way, and others who won't reciprocate. It's okay. You are doing what works for you to be fulfilled, and hopefully giving something to them. Because even if someone is suspicious or awkward about it, or they won't text you first, because a lot of people just don't. And I don't see the reason for that. If we care about people, we should be in touch with them. But even if that happens, you need to do the right thing, whatever's right for you, as far as communicating and building relationships with each other. Because really, when it comes down to it, it's all about relationships. Your relationship with yourself, your relationship with God or Holy Spirit, whatever you choose to believe, it's a relationship. It needs to be. And then with other people. And if you take that personal responsibility to build up your relationship within yourself, be honest, sometimes brutally honest with yourself, then it's so much easier to be understanding and caring toward other people. Some other things you can do: go to a local farmer's market or another venue and talk to the vendors. Be curious, ask questions about them and what they sell. Be around people. Even if you're not talking to them, enjoy their interactions. Smile and be grateful for your ability to share and to be there. If you can volunteer for something, do it. There are so many organizations who would love to have you as part of what they do. In fact, when you volunteer, you are giving of yourself. And when you are giving of yourself and being that generous of your time and energy, and maybe something, your knowledge and wisdom, it builds you up as well as the other people. I mean, that's usually not the reason to do it, but that giving and gratitude are probably one of the hugest, that's not even right, but anyway, one of the biggest ways that you can build yourself into the person that you are becoming. And you want to make choices, and you want to do, well, I think, want to do what gives you the most capacity to be who you are. And those things help, as well as helping others and being that light in their lives. And if you think you can't be a light in someone's life, not true, you can. So those are things that you can do to help grow that light, to make it brighter. You can become a regular at a cafe or somewhere you enjoy to go often, people watch, or bring a book, but just be there. Find a group to be part of on Meetup, or even on Facade book. I've met some nice people through a couple of women's groups and other groups that I belong to, or a similar connection platform where people plan in-person events. If you're part of your local parks and rec center or senior center, attend events, join walking groups, or whatever you're interested in. I mean, they have all sorts of things, painting. I can't go through the list right now because I can't think of it. Or better yet, start a group for people interested in the same things you enjoy. Go to local events, support local small businesses, smile and talk with them to make connections. Even if it's just for those few minutes, you're there. Did I mention hug often? I did. Heart to heart. You'd be surprised that most people hug right sides together, but as I mentioned, left to left increases love energy, vibrations, and serotonin, which we all need sometimes more of than others, than other times. I'm sure you now have other ideas of things you can do to increase your human interaction and decrease loneliness and sadness. There are around 7.9 billion people in the world. Get out of your comfort space and meet some of them. And well, there was something else I was going to say. All right. Sorry. Once you have a real life, Facade book will then be Facebook. You won't feel like a poser, and that you need to put a different face on to be part of the commotion there. Oh, here's the thing I was thinking. So be honest. So many people are not as honest with themselves as they can be. There's a lot of fear surrounding that, and there shouldn't be, because we are all human. We all make mistakes, sometimes a lot of the same mistakes that others make. And all we need to do is check ourselves, check our motivation, and be honest with what we're doing and how we're doing it. And what is your motivation for that? When you're more honest, there's a lot more clarity in who you are and what you're doing. And we all want clarity because that helps us make choices. We have a lot of decisions to make in life. And when we are clear and honest with ourselves, then we can make better choices. And you become a leader of being human. You will feel your value and see others and how valuable each person is just because they are here. And I mean, nobody needs any other reason to be valuable except that we are human beings becoming the human that we are supposed to be. Sorry, I got caught up in that a little bit. Anyway, that's it. Facade book, it doesn't have to be that way. Don't let it become your fake life. Have a real life. Be honest, have clarity, and make good decisions. Thank you for listening to my channel, for subscribing, sharing, and interacting. Keep seeking and learning. Stay open to the possibilities of grace, compassion, and love. And as always, live excellently, give generously, and love lavishly. See you next time. Ciao. Mwah.